Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from the Redolessence channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back to my videos and my channel. I really appreciate you watching as always. And in today's episode, I am super excited to share with you my thoughts on a brand new fragrance from the company Mugler. And this one is called the Mugler Cologne Love You All. So stay tuned. This fragrance was released in 2018. It's actually a collection of a few different fragrances, and I got this in the mail about 2 weeks ago, and it's, I guess I'm on their mailing list, and Mugler sent me this, which actually has all of their fragrances in it, including the original, which has been renamed to Come Together. So Mugler Cologne Come Together, still the same iconic green juice on the inside of the bottle. And for those of you who are a bit curious, it does smell exactly the same. And the original didn't last too long for me anyway, so if you're fearing of a reformulation, I don't think you need to worry too much. This one is called Fly Away. Just to give you a brief overview, Fly Away has a cannabis note in here, which is what Carolina Herrera's 212 VIP Party Fever should have been. Then you have Run Free, which contains a note of grapefruit. This one, which I'm going to be reviewing today, this one spotlights notes of licorice and white amber. And then you have Take Me Out, which I guess is named after, it's not named after a Franz Ferdinand song, but it reminds me of it, the same way that Come Together reminds me of the Beatles song, right, which went #1. So, and the last one has Orange Blossom in it. So, pretty unique collection. These are fragrances that were meant to be layered with one another, and I can certainly see that, and I think this is one that you would want to layer with another Mugler scent. So the original came out many years ago, composed by Alberto Morillas, and it was inspired by Thierry Mugler, a trip that he took, and he smelled a certain soap that he fell in love with, and he wanted that scent recreated. I believe it was a trip that he took to Morocco. And so these fragrances, or this collection of fragrances, is something that we've been talking about in the fragrance community for a long time. And I believe it was David from the Fragrance Bros who said, quit it with the pure line, why don't you come out with flankers for Mugler Cologne? And here it is, your wish is our command. And so we have a lot of really interesting scents here that were meant to be layered with one another, but for the most part, they are very one-dimensional. And one of the criticisms that they've received online is that they're comprised mainly of top and mid notes. And I think that's a way of commenting on their ethereal nature and the fact that they don't really last a heck of a long time. But we are going to be focusing on this one, and I'll tell you why I bought it in just a second. Let's start things off with the presentation. So the presentation for this one is really nice. I actually quite like it. It just says Mugler Cologne, Love You All. It has kind of like a light blue color to make it stand apart from the other fragrances in this collection. It is eau de toilette concentration, and this is the 100 ml bottle. The shape is also really cool, and especially if you have all of them, you can layer them, you can mix and match or whatever. The cap has the Mugler star logo at the top. It does click into place. You can pick this one up from the cap. No information down at the bottom. The serial number is actually etched on the back here. I think laser engraved on the bottom of the back if you're looking to authenticate your purchase. And you also have some other distinguishing information on the other side of the label here. So it actually has the concentration and what else? Oh, and the size on there as well. So I think that's pretty cool. This is part of the Mugler Cologne series, so you can actually unscrew this one if you want to decant it or if you want to refill it. This is a refill bottle, and the distribution on the atomizer for this one is a little bit narrow, but it sprays out a lot of juice. Let's continue with the smell. So as soon as this fragrance opens up, you are going to get the DNA of the original Mugler Cologne, which in my opinion is actually quite nice. There are even times when I reach for Mugler Cologne before I reach for Creed's original Vetiver, which I do own a 120 ml bottle of. So like I said, this is the ituration that has white amber and licorice in it, and I'm personally a fan of licorice. I am. I'll just say it. I do like Lolita Lempica's Au Masculin. I like a lot of other fragrances that contain a note of licorice, so I don't mind it. And especially if it's licorice or star anise, I don't really pick up on too much of a distinction between the two. And there's also a white amber. We'll call it an accord because amber is a fantasy note. The reason I purchased this one is because I tried all of the Mugler scents on the thing that was mailed to me. And I enjoyed a lot of them, but I didn't really remember them, and because the names are kind of long, I forgot which was which. And so when I went online on my phone prior to placing the order, I actually placed the order for this when I was on a cruise ship, believe it or not. I had reception on my phone, and I saw that it had the notes that really appealed to me, and the fact that it was blue kind of conveyed that it was probably the more masculine release from the company. But in retrospect, I think I made a mistake. So this is one of the fragrances by Mugler that I'm actually not too crazy about. I think for what it's worth, it's a nice scent. It's a very pleasant scent. You do get that fresh, clean vibe from the vetiver, which is a type of grass, and you get that from the original Mugler Cologne. So yes, the DNA of the original Mugler Cologne is present in this one in many ways. And then you also have a citrus vibe about it that kind of reminds me of something that John Varvatos would put out, kind of along the lines of John Varvatos' Artisan Pure. And so for that reason, it has a very likable nature about it. It has a commercial appeal to it. But now that I've revisited some of the other fragrances in the collection, especially Fly Away, which has the cannabis note in it, I really like that one. And then even the Orange Blossom one, which initially I found to be kind of feminine, but Orange Blossom is one of the floral notes that I can actually tolerate. I really do like the note of Orange Blossom. This is very one-dimensional. It's definitely a fragrance that for that reason I would layer with some of the other fragrances within the collection just to make it a bit more interesting, because I think on its own this is overly simplistic and I'm not really a fan of it for that reason, but I can see it doing well. I can see other people really liking it. So my top pick would be Fly Away. I think that's a gorgeous scent. I'm going to end up purchasing that scent. And I think the other one that I really like was the one with grapefruit in it, because the grapefruit actually smells quite natural. I don't know if it's natural or synthetic, but it does smell natural to me. And so when I want to pick me up, because fragrances have the ability to do that, right? They're mood lifters, mood enhancer. They can elicit a certain emotion. So I think I'm going to purchase the grapefruit one. But for the time being, I'll wear this one. I'll layer it. I'll see how it does. I've been wearing it for some time now, but I'm going to spend a little bit more time with it. So I don't love it as of right now, but it could grow on me. Let's finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, I took a look at the uniqueness and the overall smell, and I don't think it's that unique of a scent. Like I said, it reminds me of something that John Varvatos would put out. Perhaps if the licorice note were a bit stronger in this one, I would have liked it a lot more. But for what it's worth, I think it is a pleasant scent, especially if you're using it for its intended purpose, which is to layer it with other fragrances in the collection. I think it could provide a lot of value, and it could change the olfactive identity of some of the other fragrances when worn in combination with one another. But on its own, I do think that it comes across as just a tad bit, I don't want to use the word unoriginal, but I think it comes across as a tad bit overly simplistic. And so for that reason, I wouldn't wear it on its own, but you can totally wear it on its own. All right. So try it for yourself. See how you like it. See if it resonates with you, if it smells good on your skin. Fragrance is subjective at the end of the day. We all have a different nose. We all have a different appreciation for different scents. Longevity on this one, believe it or not, was pretty good. Longevity, I got about 6 to 7 hours. It does become a skin scent at the 6-hour mark though, so if you want to say that's a cutoff point for you, then that's it, 6 hours. Projection, great for like the first hour, like 45 minutes to an hour, and then it sits very close to the skin. In terms of occasions and versatility, I think this one is best worn in the summer months, so you probably don't want to buy this for at least another 9 months, especially since the last day of summer is September 22nd, which is right around the corner. That's less than a month. I think in terms of occasions, though, you can wear this one anywhere. It definitely gives off a casual vibe, and I think if you're looking for a citrus-based scent to wear while you're dressed up, I would wear something a bit more classy or refined, something like Terre d'Hermès. But I think it's pretty versatile. It smells clean. There's never a bad time to smell clean. Anybody of any age can wear this one, and it totally is unisex. That's another thing about this collection. All of them are marketed as unisex fragrances. I have to completely agree with that. Last up, we have the presentation. I like that they changed the color around for each one, which kind of differentiates. So if you tell somebody, hey, go to Macy's for me and buy me the one in the blue bottle, I think it's going to be easy to spot which one is which. So I think the color is a lot more memorable than the name, but I digress. So my final verdict on this one is it's not one of my favorites. It's one that I think is going to be liked by a lot of people. It's definitely not as original or unique as all of the other fragrances in the collection. So I personally, on a personal level, I made the mistake of purchasing the one that had the color that I liked, that had the name that I liked, it had the note breakdown that I liked, but I ended up not really liking it as much. So I think Fly Away is my favorite. I'm going to purchase that one probably today when I'm done shooting this review, and I hope to have a review of that one coming out to you guys sometime in the very near future. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my review of, what's the name of this again? Love You All by Mugler Cologne. It's a solid scent. If that's your style, again, try it for yourself, see if you like it. Also, please don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and that includes top 10s, giveaways, unboxings, and a lot of other future fragrance-related content. And also, if you did take something of value from this channel, in addition to subscribing, please remember to enable the notification bell. This way, whenever I do put out videos of new fragrances, reviews, or any sort of fragrance-related content, it will get delivered straight to your feed. You never need to worry about missing any of my future videos. Thanks again for watching. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode.